Okay, I thought I'd go fully hipster with this one because this is a super hipster day for me in that I did actually buy one of my dream cameras, but it has a bit of a kind of a random cult hipster following because it's a rangefinder. Now, in an ideal world where I had all of the money, clearly I would have a shelf back there full of Leica cameras, or maybe even Voigtlander cameras. I mean, the Bessa, great rangefinder camera, but those cameras are extremely expensive. And if you've watched my channel, you guys know I'm not into expensive gear, you guys. I'm into expensive film stock. Yes, for sure. I don't mind paying extra to get the better scans if someone else is scanning my images. But as far as camera bodies go, I don't believe in spending that much money. If you have the money, Leica is the way to go. If you've ever shot one, then you know they're absolutely beautiful to create images with, but I'm not into that. Don't like spending my money. Case in point, this t-shirt that says details on it, Goodwill. I went to Goodwill to drop some stuff off the other day. Goodwill bin, $1 for a t-shirt. Look at that. It doesn't fit me bit tight. It's a bit tight. However, still, $1. This camera, in this box, you already know what it is because it's in the title and you probably clicked it. But I really wanted a rangefinder. The Soviet lenses that you can get for these rangefinders are so inexpensive. They practically give them away. I was searching on eBay for lenses for this camera when I got the deal. And now the sellers are sending me messages offering me even cheaper prices than what they advertise their lenses for. Case in point, 50mm lens for this camera, Soviet choice. You're looking at around $30. $30. For a camera that creates great vibes, for a lens that creates great vibes. The camera, that's up to you. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the Canon 7. The 1961, or it was marketed in 1961, Canon 7. I think they were marketed at the same time as the Canonet. Now, I've purchased and sold a bunch of Canonets. Great little pocket rocket camera, but look at that beast. We will take a closer look, trust me. All right, let's get rid of those, get rid of that. I am not a hipster. I am just a photography enthusiast, quite simply. Just because it's become hipster, that does not make me a hipster. However, I purchased a Canon 7, and I'm very, very cheap. Yes, I am. If you've watched my channel, then you know, you guys, that I don't like spending an abundance of money on camera bodies. Glass, that's where you should be putting your money. Trips and experiences, investing times with friends in order to create and capture beautiful images. That's where I feel like you should be investing your money in. Film stock, of course. Portra 400 is expensive. Ektar's not cheap, but the results you get are insanely cool. This Canon 7, this beautiful 1961 rangefinder built in Japan based on the beautiful Leicas which cost the earth, cost me, you see that? 10 buckaroos is how much I spent for this camera. $10. And there is a very good reason for that. This camera is damaged. All right. Expect to pay $100 to $200 for a good working condition, wonderful example from Japan. But, and in some cases cheaper. This particular camera I knew was not fully functioning. Here's one of the great things about the camera. And here's one of the things which is an issue for the camera. If you look in there, you can probably just see with that light, this has a metallic shutter curtain. Boom, it's metallic. The problem is it's quite brittle if you start messing around with it. You know these cloth shutters, you can like touch them, kind of. These ones, they dent and they get holes very easily. And this little bad boy, I can almost see you through it, has a hole in the shutter curtain. Now that doesn't mean that this camera doesn't work. It absolutely works. Fires on all the correct time shutter speeds. Light meters selenium, so I wouldn't trust it anyway. Everything works as it should, but it has a microscopic hole in that shutter curtain. You guys, you know me. If you watch this channel, I fix my cameras all the time. I knew this would happen. And for $10, you guys, the fix on this camera is going to be $7. $17 gets me a 1961 groundbreaking Leica with that beautiful Leica screw mount lens system camera. And how am I going to fix it? I'm going to essentially fill the holes in the shutter curtain, and I'll just use elastic or liquid electrical tape. Do not do this to your camera unless you are happy to damage your camera beyond repair. I say that just because I don't want you guys to mess up your beautiful cameras, your granddad's camera. I'm doing this because I've done it before a bunch of times. I know what I'm doing, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. Feel free to copy me and do it for yours. I'll show you the links to the Amazon products I'm going to buy, but it's simply a case of those microscopic holes in the shutter curtain. I'm going to paint them with this liquid product, kind of like paint, and it'll dry, it'll solidify, and it's relatively flexible. So when that shutter curtain moves, I'll still be able to create those beautiful images because it should move at the right speeds. The mechanical motor and the springs will pull that shutter curtain where it needs to be. The light will become, the light will flood through that system, flood through the shutter, expose the film, and I will get a beautiful image of whatever it is that I'm looking at. And I will be a happy chappy. We're going to get closer, you guys, to this camera. We're going to have a look around. I want you to come on board with me. One of the best inventions that Canon did in the photography game was this beautiful camera. Yes, the Germans know what they're doing with photography. We know this. The Leica's beautiful, but they did a great job. The Japanese did a great job of making a camera Leica-like. No, it is not a Leica. It is a Japanese rangefinder. Boom. Listen to that shutter. It is beautiful. We're going to go through it. I'll let you know my recommendations. You can have a look at some of the images that I create. I think I'm just going to shoot No, I'm not. I'm going to get Kodak 200. I'll shoot some cheap stock through it, some cheap film stock. You guys can have a look. But let me tell you straight away off the bat, it feels beautiful. I'm so excited. It's been a while since I've been this excited about a camera. Let's get a closer look at this camera. Come in. Let's see. Let's have a look. Let's get on the table. So let's see if we can fix this little beauty of a camera. This should be relatively easy. Just keep those hands nice and steady. Make sure you adhere to the drying times of whatever it is that you're using. I'm using electrical liquid tape. Just some items that you'll need. And this is it. Liquid electrical tape purchased from Amazon. It was about $7. I'm going to use a few drops and then stick it on the shelf for the next awful shutter fix that I ultimately will have to do. Let's have a little look at the camera then. This is the Canon 7. It's a rangefinder. It was $10. There's that selenium beautiful light meter and a self timer. The light meter on the top then. I mean, I wouldn't 100% trust it. I still use my app on my iPhone. Shutter speeds. Depress this button to change the ASA or the ISO at the top. Just to press and turn. There's your shutter speeds there. Beautiful, easy, simple wheel. I can change my frame lines as well if I need to. The frame lines themselves, 35 obviously for a 35mm lens. This is my shutter release. Around the shutter release you can see a wheel. If you turn that wheel, you can lock or indeed rewind the film. You have to turn the wheel to R and then you're able to rewind that film. Now, this camera has a double opener, so you have to turn this wheel at the base and then pull down in order to open the back and reload your film. Obviously, it's not DX coded, so you have to change your own ASA, but relatively simple to load that 35mm film. Here you can see the shutter is extremely damaged, hence the $10 price tag. Not to worry for me, easy peasy. I'm going to go ahead and fix that with that liquid electrical tape now. In this metallic shutter, there are tiny micro holes, and the problem with that is the light is going to leak through those holes and evidently cause a massive issue by exposing the film and getting light leaks. I like light leaks, but unfortunately, if you look at those white dots, those are the holes. Now that's going to create awful light leaks, so I'm just going to fix that prior to actually using this camera. Simple enough task. We can fix this, you guys. Just get your liquid electrical tape here. I'm going to go ahead and shake it up and just use tiny little amounts. Just make sure you protect whatever table, whatever surface you're using. Here I'm just using a tiny brush, just small amounts on that smaller brush. I'm going to go ahead and just add tiny drops on this tiny little brush, and then just gently paint over those holes on the shutter curtain. I'm just going to use a steady hand to do this. Just little tiny bits at a time when you're going ahead and painting those smaller holes. Now, I adhere to the dry times on this, and I leave that wet electrical tape for a good few hours before I even touch the camera, but you can see I'm just gently covering my suspected areas of light leaks. Now this is a pretty straightforward fix. All you're going to do is use a flashlight to look at those holes, and then you can go ahead and completely plug up the holes. And if you do this, you've essentially got yourself a brand new working camera. Now this, look at the shorts. I do apologize, everybody. This is all done. Good work. Let's see if the camera works.